Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll wait for 5 more minutes, let other people join in, and then we will start. Hi, everyone. So is my voice audible? Can anyone quickly confirm?
Yeah, it's audible.
Cool, cool. We'll wait for another couple of minutes and then we'll start. Okay. Just hold on, guys. Okay, guys, let's get started. So, a very warm welcome to your inaugural session of Moody's CRU. Your batch number is 13. Okay, and we start off our journey today. So, my name is Shashank. I work here as a customer success lead. So, your entire journey, your entire learning journey, I'll be there with you throughout to help you in this learning journey. So I'll quickly start with the presentation. What we have planned for today, I'll brief you on like how the session today is going to go on. So first, I'll just brief you with the what the LMS of our like the learning management system, the support structure, and some basic outlines about the program. Followed by my interaction, we will open up for a Q&A. Like if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Followed by that, we will have one of our faculties for this particular program. Okay, Mr. Sudhir, he will be here with us for the next 1.5 hours, and then you can ask your questions around the course. How is this course helpful, and how is it going to like bring about? I mean, how you can best use this program to upskill yourself and move further in the ladder. Okay, so I'll quickly move to the next slide. Okay, so first I'll talk about the program overview. Okay, so it's approximately 4 months of a program, 150 hours of training that will be delivered to you during this particular program. The mode of delivery is completely online. Everything will be like all the sessions are going to happen in the online mode. Okay, uh, you will have an access of the LMS. Access to Imarticus flagship learning management system, Pegasus. So more about this Pegasus, we will have a quick walkthrough of how things will look on this learning management system. This learning management system will be a backbone of your entire learning journey. Okay, so you will have live sessions happening every weekend, and then we are going to have this learning management system which will have all your content related things available to help you. Guys, just to I mean, if you can please switch off your cameras, I mean, that will be less distractive as of now. It's a request again, please switch off your cameras. We can, okay, let me do that. My apologies for the interruption. Okay, so you will have the access to the Marticus flagship learning management system, Pegasus. I'll give you a quick walkthrough of this learning management system. Okay, what are the other features of this program? There will be career services by Marticus. It's all about job readiness. Okay, we will help you with resume building. We'll help you with profile enhancement. There'll be interview preparations, business communication and soft skills classes will be happening. And at the end of the program, when you get certified, you will have the access to the superset portal. Okay, both private and public leads related to the jobs will be made available to you for 3 months. Okay, just re-emphasizing it, this is not a placement guaranteed program, but it's a placement assistance, or you can career services enabled program. Okay, I'll take up questions if you have any, but this is all about it. uh, Talking about the course structure, weekly live classes are going to happen for 8 hours, 3 p.m. to 7 class timings. Okay, 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. That is how the program will proceed, and there'll be no change in timings until unless very rarely if the faculty requests or something, depending on faculty availability. But mostly 90 to 95% of the times the class timing will remain the same. If there are any holidays that are coming up, then obviously those will be the session that is aligned for that particular day will be moved to the following day. Okay, So this is about the course structure. Then we are going to have there are a lot of case studies in this particular program. So a lot of industry based case studies are there. Those will help you enhance your learning. Then I'll talk about the assessments, the most important part for you to get this certificate. There are 3 case studies and there are 5 assessments. Okay, these case studies and assessments are part of your grade book. I mean, based upon how well you perform in these case studies, submissions and assessments, you will have your like certificate. There'll also be a final mock interview. What do I mean by a mock interview? The mock interview will basically be from the learnings you would have gathered from this program. Okay, so it's a one-on-one kind of an interview session where the faculty is going to ask you questions based on the program. So this is all about the assessments that are part of this program. Then apart from it, we will have mentorship sessions, we will have guest sessions with industry experts, people from we will have Ganesh, who's heading this, who's the head faculty of this particular program, who will come up for a guest lecture. He's directly in touch with Moody's. So these are few key features, the program overview and the course structure. We move on to the next thing, that is, okay, so like I told you, there'll be a certification criteria based upon the amount of marks you get in this program. You will have your certificates. So tier 4 is something that you should avoid. Okay, anything below 49% or below will get only a certificate of participation. Something between 50 to 69% is a certificate of completion. Above 70%, 70 to 89% is the certificate of achievement, and 90% and above is the certificate of excellence. This is a sample copy of the certificate that you will receive on successful completion of this program. Now we will move to the learning management system. Any queries as of now, guys? Any immediate questions? If you have, please unmute yourself, ask, and then we will move on to the learning management system. It has its own setup. So you'll have to you'll have a lot to understand. Any questions based on the course structure and program overview as of now? Anyone? If you're not able to unmute yourself, you can put your questions in the chat itself. Okay. Cool. No questions. That's great. So we'll now move on to the Ematicus walkthrough of this. What I'll do is I'll give you a quick walkthrough of this learning management system. Please hold on. Okay, I've just posted the link to the Ematicus portal. Okay, you can do the basic sign up process and all. You will have the access in next week. Okay, so you will have the access with the all the content elements of this by next week, but you can, in the meanwhile, you can complete the basic sign up process. Okay. Guys, my screen is visible, right? Okay, so what you need to do is you need to use your registered mobile number. Okay, the mobile number that you have registered with us, you need to use that to sign up to the portal. once you sign up, you will find my courses section. So you see, like for me, there are different courses, but for you, you will have one course only, that is credit risk underwriting. And you will find that in the, what do you say, the my courses section. Okay. Now, I'll just open up a sample program with you. This is what this is similar to what your program will look like. Okay, it will first have the orientation session, the session that we are that is happening right now. You will have the recordings of these session. Okay, if you click on to the orientation, you see that one lecture batch launch, and if you click on to that, the video will play. The video of this batch launch, how things proceeded in this program, will play. Okay. Apart from this, we have the discussion forum. Okay. So this is again, like I told you, it's a different program. So guys, you all will be available. It's something similar to WhatsApp, but it's part of this program. Part of our LMS, and all of you can get together on this. So there is no requirement of a separate WhatsApp account or a WhatsApp group. You can carry out all your discussions on this. Everybody, like all the students that are mapped to this batch, will be available in this discussion forum. You can use it to discuss things amongst yourselves, ask course related doubts with each other, and things like that. Also, to give you help, we have the get help feature. Okay. I'll give you a quick demo of the get help feature. So it's the demo account. So you will have your name displayed here. You have to put in your email ID. Then you need to put in the subject. Okay. And for training location, it's always you have to use online. Okay. Since there are different locations you see here, what you need to do is choose online. Okay. If you mark online, or if you don't mark online, the ticket will go to a different team. Okay. You need to mark online in this. Okay. And then you later on write down the description. Suppose my my PDF files are not visible. Okay, you do this. It also has a feature of taking screenshots. I need to go back. Just a minute, guys. So it has a feature of taking screenshots as well. What will happen is, if there is a relevant screenshot, you can what you can do is you can attach that as well. Okay, and the query will directly reach us. So the team will work upon that. A ticket will be assigned, and the team will work upon this and get back to you with the resolution. The tag for this is 48 hours. Now, like I told you, besides all the like videos and all, there'll also be documents that will be available. Okay, so like I told you, this is some other program, but your content will be mapped similar to this. All the PPTs that the trainers are going to use to like help you study, all those things you will be able to see through here. Okay, I move to the next. So all your assignments, the quizzes, everything you will be able to. So if you click on, then the quiz appears. Okay, so all your things will be mapped from here. Okay, and all your content related, like all the content, all the PDFs, all the PPTs that are part of the program will be available on the LMS. Okay, So this was all about the demonstration on the LM. Amit, you have a question?
Hello.
Yeah, Amit, please go ahead.
Actually, I was asking regarding that initial login credential.
Okay.
Like
I'll
we use
I'll
a
through a
mobile
PPT.
number.
Yeah, I'll through the log. I mean about the login process. I'll walk you through quickly through a PPT. Okay, I'll do that as well. Don't worry. Just hold on. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I understood that part. Regarding this Pegasus, right? This Pegasus also we need to enter a mobile number. After that, there is a
Yes.
password required.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that password.
Yes. So the pass. I mean, there are steps to it. There are steps to the login process. I'll walk you through those. Okay. In a PPT. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I've given you guys, I've given you the demo to the like how the portal will look like somewhat. Now what we'll do is I'll briefly walk you through the process of sign up as well. Okay. Okay, so these are the tech requirements that you should have. Okay, the system configuration Windows 10 plus and Mac OS 2018 onwards. Okay, if you're using Mac 2018 onwards, otherwise system configuration is Windows 10 or plus. So I mean the you can also download the app, but for the best learning experience, it is suggested that you use your I mean your laptop only. Okay, again, browser supported Chrome, Firefox latest versions. I have already shared the link with you guys. You can bookmark it. The link to download the app and iOS, I'll also put it in the chat. Okay, but I highly suggest that while you're attending classes, you use your laptop. Okay. uh, Talking about the sign up process, you need to put in your mobile number. You first need to click on to the create account thing. Okay, once you click on to the create account, you will move to this screen. Here you need to enter your name and mobile number. Please note that the mobile number that you're putting in here should be the one that you have used for registration. Okay, then you enter the email ID. This email ID should also be I mean the one that you have used for registration with us, because we are going from the backend, we are going to give you the access on this particular email ID only. Okay, you can enter the password and re-enter the password to like confirm it. Once you do all these things, you will receive an OTP. I hope there are no international students here. Are there any international students in the batch? Okay, I guess no. So you guys won't be facing any issues. Just click on enter OTP and you will get an OTP to log in to your Marticus account. Right now, if you log in, you will not find the course material because it is being worked upon, and the same will be visible to you in next week. Okay, we need to still give you the access. Once the access is given, you will find that visibility. Okay. Now when you go into like when once you go once you get inside the system, you will have a pop-up something like this. Okay, it will ask you to verify your email ID. Okay, please put in the registered email ID and put in confirm email ID. Once you do that, an OTP, again a six digit verification code will go to your email ID. So in that way, your two things, your mobile number and your email ID, both will get verified. Okay. Once the verification process is done, then you will get a pop-up like this that congratulations, you have successfully verified your email address. Followed by that, you can go to your edit profile section. You can change your name there, put in your DP, and you can also use the change password. So you can set up a password. Once you do all those things, what will happen is the OTP thing won't be required. Anytime, any device, once you set the password, anytime, any device you log in, you use your what do you say, your mobile number and the password that you have set, and it will work across like different devices. So you need not do it again and again. Again, this is okay, this is get help. I have already, I think, explained it. To access your course, you need to go to the start course. You click on to the start course and you will find all the content related to your program. Okay, specifically divided into sections. It will be there, all the assessments and all the case studies, everything will be visible once you click on to that. Okay, you have to go to the explore option and the relevant things will be visible to you. This PPT that I'm using to explain you will also be shared with you. So do not worry about it. You don't have to remember everything as of now. This will be shared with you so that you guys can like do it at your own pace. Now, for this particular class, what we have done is we have shared the Zoom link with you. Moving forward, like once the batch settles down, this will not be the case. What will happen? You will have your classes directly mapped on your LMS. Okay. So suppose if you have this particular class that is academic and technical orientation, okay, the schedule will be visible and the timings will be visible. 5 minutes prior to the start of the class, you will have the what do you say? Uh, you will have the start class option available, and you can use that. Okay, the join now button will appear just 5 minutes prior. Okay, Amit, you have a question.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I was asking the system requirement was 10, Windows 10, right?
Windows 10, yeah.
Yeah, but my system is like my laptop is 8.1 version. So will there be any any differences like any lesser advantage
No,
because of this?
disadvantage. I mean, the features will best work in this particular configuration. If you face any issues, I think a Windows upgrade is a very, I mean, it's not a very technical task as of now. If you connect with anybody with some sort of a technical background, they can do this upgrade part for you. Okay. And if required, I mean, you can visit a technical person, but I think that won't be required. Okay.
Okay.
So you try using it on your system. If you face any issues, just let us know. But the problem is solvable. It won't be an issue. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So like I said, 5 minutes prior to your session, the join now button will appear. And what will happen is you can click on to that, join the class directly. No need to download Zoom or wait for links. Okay. What will also happen from the team is that every weekend, that is every Wednesday or Thursday, you will get an agenda email from our side. Okay. The agenda will have the details of what are the topics that are being going to get covered in the session. Now what you can also do is, before you start off the session, in one of the best practices, that you go through the material once before you go into the class, so that you have a background. Okay. So you do this and the course will be more helpful to you. Moving on. Okay, discussion forum, I have already given you a demonstration of. Then you will have gradebook. Okay, gradebook is another important feature of this. So you go through all your assessments and all, and whatever scores you achieve, those will be available in the gradebook. Okay. So that is something that will be like, that will help you keep your journey mapped to the program. You will have a clear view of how things are progressing. Okay. So again, this is again related to, so suppose there is the session, and then there's a PPT related to the session that will be made available to you. This is how it will look like. Anything that is downloadable. So if there is any what do you say, any manual or any downloadable content that is required, that will be available to you. You click on to that and it will download itself. this is the last part. This is about the like I told you, there will be case studies in this program, and you need to make your submissions. So what you need to do is you can add your notes, and then use the attach files option and use your answer file. Okay, the Word document or the Excel or whatever you are trying to upload, you try doing that, and that will work. Okay, the last step will be submit button. You push the submit button, your submission will get this is how the final thing will look like. Okay, and after that, once the upload is complete, you click on the submit button, and the submission will get completed. You will see this pop up on your screen that your submission is accepted, and I mean it is now submitted. Okay, so all the steps and everything, we will send out a detailed email to you all, so that I mean you guys I know it's a lot of information. It will be too overwhelming in one go. So you will have this PDF with you. You can go through at your own pace and sign up and do the required processes. But the content will be visible before the next, I mean the next class is going to happen on Saturday, next Saturday. Okay, but before that we will have the content available for you. Okay, uh guys, moving back, so this was all about our Pegasus. Now I'll also tell you about the what is the escalation matrix. Okay, what do I mean by an escalation matrix? So suppose you guys face a problem. Okay, you use the get help section. The tag for that is 48 hours. If you do not get a response on that, then your next step is you mail on queries.online@imarticus.com. And if you still, I mean the problems will get resolved in the first go itself on the get help section only. But in any case, if it is not getting resolved on both the platforms, then we care at the Imarticus is the next level of escalation. It is the highest level of escalation. So this is how the escalation matrix will work. Few last points that I wanted to share. Do not default on your payments, whatever payments that you have. Installments will attract late, I mean so if you're late, it might attract some late payment charges, and also please avoid that. It is a no refund program, so please be, I mean we are making this very clear right at the very beginning. And all the details, once at the time of your joining, all these details are already shared with you in the offer letter. Okay, so this is all about it. We will have, I think, Sudhir sir, who will deliver the session in next 10 minutes. In the meanwhile, I'm open to questions. Please open up. I have given my introduction. I would like to know you as well. Okay, so what we can do is we can quickly give a brief introduction about ourselves and what is the expectation from the course. Okay, so I'll start with you, Amit. Please go ahead, tell something about yourself, and what is the expectation from the course.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amit here, and I am from Karnataka, and I work as a financial analyst in a US mortgage company. I am looking forward for an upskill and greater opportunities in the field of risk management through this course. Hello.
So next, who'll go next? I'll take name. Lokesh.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Lokesh Malik from Calcutta. Presently, I am working with Axis Bank, and I am actually working in banking industry since last 15 years. And my segment of working till last 15 years is in liability section. I don't have any experience on asset part. That's apart from liability, credit part, I do not have any experience. So just for an upliftment of my knowledge in banking, I want to pursue this particular
Okay.
certification course. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Wonderful, Alokesh. Mr. Ganesh, you go next.
My
Guys,
name is
please
Ganesh.
be a bit louder. I know it's 3 p.m. and be a bit louder, be more energetic, guys, so that everyone in the group gets to hear you and know you.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. Now I'm clear.
Yes, Ganesh.
Yeah. So I'm from Mumbai. Currently, I'm working in HDFC Life Insurance in operations group operation team since last 1.5 year. And I wanted to join this course to know about in more detail in credit underwriting and risk profile. So that is why I've joined this course.
Great to have you here. Lisa, you go next.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Korea. I live in Mumbai. I am actually working in e-commerce field with Lumina Data Metrics, and I want to try my luck in finance, and I'm very interested to know about credit risk. So that's why I decided to do this course.
Great. I think you are at the right place. So Mahalakshmi, can you go next?
Myself, Mahalakshmi Subramaniam from Mumbai, working in a cooperative bank. I found for this course for the update my knowledge in credit and get a better job.
Great. Mithilesh.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mithilesh.
Hi everyone. Myself Mitesh Pujari from Navi Mumbai. I work in Bharat Cooperative Bank since 8 years. I'm in a credit department. I came to know about this course. I want to pursue.
Mithilesh, we are not able to hear you clearly. Please try again. And if it is not working, then you can put it in the chat. Okay. Not a problem.
Hello everybody.
Yes, Mithilesh. Tell us.
Myself Mitesh Pujari from Navi Mumbai. I work with Bharat Bank. I'm in a credit department since 8 years. I want to pursue this certification and gain knowledge about credit risk underwriting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. Mr. Narendra.
Hi everyone. So my name is Narendra Illa from Hyderabad. So I'm working as a finance analyst in past 3 years. So this course why I'm choosing. I want to go to the underwriting team. So I want to more knowledge about this credit risk and underwriting. That's why I'm choosing this course.
Okay. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Fernandez, can you please, my apologies, please unmute yourself and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Reginald Fernandez. I am based out of Mumbai, Goregaon. I've been in the field for over 20 years now. So I am a director in the company, and we hold corporate DSAs for with various banks and NBFCs. So we are in the retail space as of now, and I'm looking forward to engage myself in the corporate funding, MSMEs basically, and just to upgrade my skills, I have joined this course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rajdeep. Rajdeep, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello, hi.
Yeah, please go ahead. A quick introduction. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is Rajdeep here. So I was like, I'm working for Punjab National Bank. Previously, I was with erstwhile OBC, Oriental Bank of Commerce, and before that, I was with Wipro for 2 years, and that's it. I'm in the bank for the past since 2013. I'm with this organization. Uh, it's been almost now like 9 years, 3 months like that. And I wanted to enroll for this program because, like to give an insight of credit risk. Because mostly I was in the field, mostly in the branches as branch head and as credit processing officer. So to have an overview of the credit risk, under like the course also does, you said underwriting, better understanding of like underwriting. I wanted to enroll for this program. Thank you.
Okay. Shithil, can you go next? Shithil, can you hear us? Okay, I think he cannot. So Sonalika, please go next.
Hi everyone. I'm Sonalika Sutri from Pune. Currently working in Kotak Mahindra Bank in Personal Loan Department as an associate. I am been working from 5 years, and I want to go for credit. That's why I am doing this course, and want to learn more about the credit. Thank you.
Great, great, great. Vignesh, Vignesh.
Hi, this is Vignesh from Chennai. I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good morning to all. I have been working with Stanchart Bank in confirmations department for almost 9 years. I want to change my career path and uplift my knowledge in credit risk team. So I offered this course.
Great.
That's a short brief about myself.
Okay, okay. I think we are left with Sunil.
Hi everyone, Sunil this side from Mumbai. I have 11 years working experience and I work in society generally. I worked earlier in Deloitte and Ernst & Young. So I've been in consulting and also in banking space, mostly on the digital side and on the regulatory side. So I have worked a bit on the credit side, but I want to upskill myself and learn in depth on the credit risk underwriting segment. Thank you.
Great, great, great. So have I missed anybody? Please, my apologies. If I missed somebody, please unmute yourself and tell us about yourself. But I think we covered all. Is there anybody left? Okay, guys. So mostly all of you are from the banking background. Okay. And cool. So good to know you all. Now what we'll do is I'll for the next 5 minutes, I'll open up for any questions that you are immediately coming to your mind as of now. Just let me know so that I can answer them. And after that, what will happen is Sudhir sir will give you a brief understanding of the course curriculum and all and things. Okay. Vignesh is saying I tried to sign up in the above link but received an error, server not found. Okay, okay. Not a problem, not a problem. So about the offer letter, I am giving you another email ID. Okay. Please drop an email about the offer letter. Okay. And about the sign up, let me have all those things like all the access things get once they are done, we will send out an email to you. And if you still face any issues, then I mean, you can, I mean, I'll ask the coordinator to connect with you and we'll resolve your issues. Okay. The app, I think the link was working, and that is from where I showed you the demo and all. So not a problem if that has happened. It's okay. Try on a different device, try sometime later. Okay. But things are, I mean, well in place. Don't worry upon that. Okay. Cool. So guys, any immediate questions, any other questions I have, do I have from you? Anything related to the support structure that Emarticus is going to provide. Obviously, all the subject related queries will be taken care of by sir, but anything apart from that. Yes, Rajdeep, you have a question? So I see that there are no questions. So what? Okay. Is everybody else able to hear me? Rajdeep says that he's not able to hear. Sonalika, you are able to hear me, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's an issue with your connectivity. Rajdeep, please try and like rejoin. Okay, I think the issue will be resolved. Don't worry. But I think I'm pretty audible to everybody. Okay, guys. So let's have a break of 5 minutes, and then I think Sir will join us by that time, and we'll have the guest session by Sir. Okay. Let's have a 5-minute break. Guys, so Sudhir sir is with us now. Okay, he'll take us through the next part of this session. Sudhir sir, very warm welcome to you. And just to give you a background, we have been conversing. I've been conversing with the batch, and most of the people belong to the banking background. So over to you now. Please go ahead and we can have your session now.
Yeah, and Shashank, as I correctly understood yesterday, with my session, the batch today's session will be over, right? Once I conclude.
So sir, we are done with the we are done with the basic part where we have done the walkthrough and everything. We will conclude with your your session. It's a 2-hour session. So the next 1 hour, 1.5 hours are with you. Okay, and we will conclude with your session.
Okay.
Everything else has been all the orientation related things have been covered already.
I'll walk them through the entire course material as to how it is going to pan out during the course of their being with us.
Yes.
I think that is what I'll take them through, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Thank
in
you.
the end, if they have
Thank
any
you, Shashank,
questions
for-
related to the program or how is this going to be beneficial and any subject related things, then obviously they will ask some question at the end of that. We can have a Q&A kind of a thing.
Yeah. I'll give them 10 minutes time to
Sure,
do
sir.
that.
Over to
Not an
you
issue.
now. It's all yours.
Thank you. Welcome. If the host is there, I would request you to make me co-host so that I can have.
Sure, sir. Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Well, friends, I will just take 2 minutes. Alokesh, Amit, Ganesh, Lisa, Mahalakshmi, Mitesh, Narendra, Rajdeep, Reginald, Samarpita, Shithil Kumar, Sonalika, Sunil, V. Vignesh. There are two V. Vignesh. I think two separate devices you would have logged in. Perhaps that is the reason why I'm seeing two here. So welcome to all of you for this session. First of all, let me congratulate for joining the right course at the right time. Would just like to ascertain on voluntary basis from you. One or two quick responses on your banking background. Any two or three of you can tell before I start my session. Please. So that I can know what kind of background you have and what kind of expectations could be there from all of you from this particular kind of course. Can anyone voluntarily say something? Yes, please. Most welcome. And I would like to have the session participatory. Or shall I take the name and ask? Yes, Ganesh, go ahead.
Hi, as I just briefed about my knowledge, my experiences with the Shashank earlier. Okay, I'm just briefing about myself. I have been with ACB for past 9 years in operations of confirmations team in UK and US process. So I just wanted to upskill
which company you said?
Standard Chartered Bank. ACB.
Standard Chartered Bank. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I just wanted.
Which part?
I'm sorry, sir.
Which place?
Chennai, sir.
Okay.
So I just wanted to upskill myself and switch my career from confirmations operations to credit risk and underwriting process. I just have a base knowledge what is credit risk and underwriting process, but I just wanted to know more about it, and I just wanted the process learning from scratch so that I can able to get a clear knowledge about it.
Okay. Okay. Any one or two of you can speak something?
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Yeah,
Sujit,
Rajdeep,
sir.
Amit. Rajdeep. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Rajdeep. I'm actually from Calcutta, but right now I'm posted in Delhi. I had been working with this organization. I'm with Punjab National Bank. I've been working with this organization for the last 9 years. It was erstwhile OBC, so like I was posted in various parts of India actually, starting from Guwahati, Gangtok, and a small stint at Bhubaneswar, and then with my recent posting, I have been transferred to Delhi. So like I do have a knowledge of credit, but then I wanted to have a good aspect of I wanted to know about the credit risk mostly because I was working because I have experience in credit, but then also at the same time brush up my knowledge about the same, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So this course, I can assure you that this course will give you the required amount of depth and confidence in handling credit in a better way. That much you can be assured of. Yeah, Amit.
Hello, afternoon, sir. I am Amit from Karnataka. I work as a financial analyst in a US mortgage company. So I have a basic understanding of mortgage related underwriting, but I was looking forward to more greater part of risk management and underwriting. That is why I'm looking forward to this course.
Right. So anyone would like to volunteer? One or quick response? Otherwise, I'll start.
Hi, Sudhir.
Hi, Sunil.
This is Sunil this side. So I'm from Bhubaneswar. I live in Bombay and I worked in a couple of banks and consulting firms across India and Singapore. So currently I'm working in society generally in the corporate credit lending team, a bit on the digital transformation side. So in my 11 years experience, I've got a flavor of working in risk management team on regulatory stuffs, regulatory guidelines, a bit on RegTech system implementation, on bit on the digital side. But what I feel I want to grow more on the credit risk side, understanding the nitty-gritties of the financial processes, along with a bit on the digital side also, if you will be covering a bit on the digital lending, how currently it's shaping up, that also I want to enhance my skills a bit on, apart from the underwriting credit risk stuffs. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And just one more, if somebody wants to say something. Any one more volunteer?
Hi, Sukrit.
Yeah, Narendra.
So myself, Narendra,
Go ahead.
from Hyderabad. I'm working as a financial analyst in portfolio risk management team. So our company is a B Corp NBFC. We will give you loans, impact loans to MSME sector. So why I'm choosing this course, in our company, one of the team is underwriting team is there. They will check the deals and everything. They will present the note to committee. We will give you the loan to this company or not. Then after company will decide. So I know the basics only. I want depth on this underwriting and risk model. Then after I switched my career to reporting analyst to underwriting. That's why I'm choosing this.
Okay. 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 Thanks a lot. So I believe that after interacting with few of you, I can sense that the people have good number of years of experience in the financial sector. If not all of you may not be from banking, but at least in the financial sector, and the basic things you understand. So certain things can be taken for granted that you'd be knowing. Nonetheless, this course will attempt to take you right from the basic to the most advanced level of credit analysis. That will include even marketing of credit also. And that's how the course will flow. So I will try to, explain in a more or less. Just one second. I'll open my then and share it. I will open my. Just give me 1 sec before I share. I am sharing the screen. Is it visible to you on your screen now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So thank you. So yeah. So this is a crash course for CRU. So it is basically this presentation is prepared to take you through the entire course material and how much it will cover, what kind of topics will be covered. I have tried to do it within a time capsule of about 1 to 1.5 hours. So this credit risk and underwriting, CRU as it is known as, is a very, very comprehensive course requiring about 145 hours of working with the students. So all of you will be having this much number of hours, this many number of hours for working with the faculty. In these subsequent slides, I have tried to touch upon salient features in the form of overview of the course. So what chapters are there? Each chapter contains what? And if you have any question, please stop me and ask me, or at the end of the presentation is over, I will give you time also. So both the way we can work it out. So the first thing which is covered in this course is Indian financial landscape. Now, this is a very vast subject, but very, very beautifully covered. The contents are excellent. It will take you through the introduction to banking and banking evolution and trends. You know, if few of you may have, because 9 years with Punjab National Bank and also nationalized banks also people are there. So you must be aware of the history of banking. And history of banking cannot be, you know, understood without knowing the evolution of State Bank of India, for example. So that also is covered very well, introduction to banking and banking evolution and trends. Then financial environment and banking landscape. So after that, they cover the entire financial environment, how it evolved, what is the current environment and what is the current banking landscape. Then it also covers government policies and financial inclusion. The latest one, the last one, financial inclusion part also is very well covered. Then NBFCs, because when we talk of financial inclusion, we cannot leave behind NBFCs, that is non-banking financial companies, in our studies. Because non-banking financial companies, they play a very pivotal role in financing those borrowers who will not be touched by the normal banking activities, in the sense that those who are considered to be a subprime candidate, or those who may be shying away from entering the bank premises because they may be feeling that bank will not finance us because our social strata, we are not coming from a particular social stratum and things like that. So NBFCs is also a very important player in the financial sector. And then finally, macro and microeconomic landscape. So how the changes either in the macro level economic landscape or in the micro level economic landscape would affect the financial sector in general and banking and NBFCs in particular. So that also they have covered beautifully in this particular chapter, that is Indian financial landscape. Then you move on. Somebody raised a very interesting thing here, that he would like to know what is digital lending. So the entire module is dedicated to that. So digital lending in India, digital banking in India, it will cover the role of fintech companies in financial inclusion. So how fintech companies are making strides and inroads into the banking sector, into the financial sector. They have beautifully covered it here. Then different digital banking models, that also you will have a flavor of it. The technological advances and big data. So what are the technological advances you have and how the big data can be used for digital lending? That also is included here. Enabling regulatory environment. Now, you are all aware that the financial sector is very tightly controlled by, or tightly regulated by the regulators, that is Reserve Bank of India. The reason being that any lack of confidence in any of the players who are operating in the financial sector, which are regulated by Reserve Bank of India, will amount to total disruption in the economic activity of the country if it happens. And therefore, maintaining confidence in the financial sector of the country is very, very important from the regulators' perspective. And therefore, while regulators are aware of the responsibility of regulating various activities in the financial sector, they are also enabling the growth. So what kind of enabling provisions are there? for digital lending in India. That also is very well covered in this module. And then finally, in this module, innovative operating model. So you would have heard someone is working with Standard Chartered Bank. So even now, even in the public sector banks also, these models have come where you feed the data for retail lending in the loan module that you have, and you don't need to do anything manually. You give the basic data, the software which is running in the background will take care of the analytics part of it, and you will get a decision which is generated, and straight away a sanction letter and other documents will get printed with the sanctioning authority giving his or her own validation for that. So no manual work is involved. So this has been possible only because of the fintech companies who are associating very closely with the banking industry in India. So innovative operating model will also be covered there. Going back to the role of regulators, that is the next module which you will come across during the course of your studies here. So regulation-led banking sector. As I just now told you that any banking sector in any country for that matter will always be led by regulations, because a sort of financial discipline is always required. Bank licensing policies. So what kind of licensing policy RBI has? Whether it is liberalized, whether it is controlled, whether it is liberalized for some players, controlled for some players, all these things is covered in this particular chapter. Constitution of central bank. So regulators are there, but what is the structure of that central bank? How do they regulate the activities of banking? So what are the departments there? In case if some problem is there on certain front, then which department should be contacted? So all these things will be covered in this chapter, Constitution of Central Bank. Why it came into existence? Do you know when the central bank, that is when we refer to central bank, it is not Central Bank of India, but it is Reserve Bank. So when the Reserve Bank came into being, any idea? Any one of you can tell? Anyone? Do you have any knowledge of that? When Reserve Bank of India came into being? No one?
1940s or 1930s.
Okay. Someone has Amit has mentioned okay. 1940. Okay. Do you know there is one? Yes, Vignesh, go ahead.
1935.
You are very close to the answer. 1934. Do you know which entity before Reserve Bank of India came into being? Which entity was responsible for printing of notes and other functions which normally a central bank does? Any idea?
Government of India.
The Government of India. Okay. Anyone else would like to guess any answer? Someone has given the, okay. Yeah, Mahalakshmi, your reply was right, 1935. No, 1934, sorry. So you will be surprised to know that this function of printing of notes and other things were taken care of by SBI. Sithil has correctly given the reply. My compliments to him, because it was a tough question. The Reserve Bank, the Reserve Bank, when it was not there, SBI was playing double role. The role of a banker as also role of a regulator. And since after Reserve Bank of India came into being, this particular role of SBI, that is the role of central bank or role of regulators, was carved out separately and it was given to Reserve Bank of India. So role of central bank in India, that also will be covered. How the central bank controls money supply. Now, nowadays we are reading a lot on this. Any thoughts on how the money supply is being controlled? What are the tools available? Why there is a need for controlling money supply? Any one or two quick thoughts? Yes, I think somebody has typed. Yes, Amit and Sunil. Amit has mentioned inflation. Yes, to control inflation, money supply control is required. And Sunil has mentioned to control liquidity and check capital in banks. Partially right. So these are the reasons why the money supply is required to be controlled, because uncontrolled money supply may be harmful to the economy as a whole. And it may lead to problems which will be difficult to deal with at a later stage. So RBI's main function is to control inflation and ensure growth simultaneously of economy. Then money creation and deposit multiplier. How money creation takes place. How money is created. Is there any magic wand that RBI will create money? Any idea? Yes, please. If you can't speak, you can type it out also, not an issue. But it will give me some sort of a satisfaction that, yes, this session is not one way. It is two-way session. Yes, somebody has tax revenue. Okay, Amit has mentioned tax revenue. May not be a correct answer, but nonetheless, I appreciate the participation. Anyone else? You can unmute yourself and speak also. Not an issue. Yes. Anyone would like to say? Yes, somebody has typed the answer. Borrowing and lending. Yes, very important. Yes. Shithil. Borrowing and lending will create or will result in money creation. I do not have a single rupee in my pocket today. I go to the bank and ask for a loan, and bank, on the basis of whatever analysis they do, they sanction me, say 10,000 rupees loan. So 10,000 rupees has been created in that sense. So it will start getting circulated in the economy. So that is how money creation takes place. And then deposit multiplier. Intermediation by central bank through monetary policy. Intermediation by central bank through monetary policy, a very, very important point. How do they do it? One or two quick response. Again, Sunil, rate hikes, a very, very recent example, because whenever it is felt that cheaper money is leading to inflation and it is going into the unproductive assets, then obviously there will be intermediation of central bank and they will put a stop to it. They'll try to put a stop to it by raising the interest rates, so that the bank, when they approach Reserve Bank of India for money, it will be costly for the bank to borrow the money from Reserve Bank of India. And in the process, they will pass on that additional burden of interest, which is put on the banks by Reserve Bank of India onto the customer. So the customer will find it costlier to get a loan from the bank, and therefore there will be some check on that. So intermediation by central bank through monetary policy. Repo and reverse repo rates, yeah, that also is a very important. And then implementing new rules. Can you elaborate, Vignesh? What do you mean by implementing new rules? You can unmute yourself or you can type out your response, not an issue. Okay. Doesn't matter. I'll proceed further. So, credit management in banks and NBFC, that will be the next module. So, credit and credit risk in lending practices in India, it will cover these aspects. Credit and credit risk in lending practices in India. This your real association with credit management will start from this chapter. So, what is credit? And what are the kind of risks that will be there in lending practices in India? Then best practices in lending. So there are certain very good practices across the industry. Some of the players have adopted very good. So that also will be part of this discussion. Then credit risk governance structures and impact. So how the credit risk governance should be there, what kind of structure it will be having, and what kind of impact that governance structure will have on the credit risk in the country. Fundamentals of capital adequacy framework, and then contours of credit policy. Now, two questions here arise. I would like to know from you. What do you know about capital adequacy word? I would not go into very detail, but just to, for my understanding of your interpretation of these two things. One is capital adequacy framework. What is that? Yeah, somebody has already typed the answer. Implementing new rules, Vignesh has clarified. Controlling trade practices. Yeah, they may, like selective credit controls and all these things, they do give guidance on these matters. Reserve Bank of India and RBI guidance has to be followed. RBI guidelines have to be followed in that area. So to that extent, Vignesh is very right. Yes, now capital adequacy framework. Can anyone throw some light on that? What is reserve like minimum capital? Okay, one response is that. The second response is bank having how much capital in times of stress as sort of cushion. Somebody has mentioned surplus money. Anyone else would like to chip in? Unmuting himself, that also should be fine. Okay, so as we know, we are into the business of risk. Business of banking business is nothing but business of dealing with risks. So if we are knowingly jumping into the risk area, because we have got the deposits, and depositors definitely will be expecting a reasonably good returns on the money that they are depositing with the bank. So they cannot keep the deposits idle because they have to pay to the depositors. So they have to also deploy these funds. Now, what are the channels in which they can deploy the funds? So the basic definition of banking is to collect deposits for lending and investment. That is the definition in short. Now, lending is fine. If you want to lend, what are the risks there? If you want to invest, what are the risks there? Now, if 100 rupees of amount of deposits that I have collected from the depositors, if I lend 100 rupees straight away without keeping a cushion on my part, then what will happen? Because these deposits may be for a period of, if it is CASA deposit, that is current and savings account deposit, it will be only for a period of very short time. It could be in terms of number of days. The core portion of it may be continuing for a very long time. That's a different matter. That the general feeling is that 25 to 30% of these total deposits are always at any given point of time stable. So that stable deposits will be there from CASA also. Then there will be your term deposits and recurring deposits, which will have a fixed term ranging from 7 days to 10 years. So that also is another type of deposits. We'll come to know of it when you go further into the course. Now, if entire amount is being lent, then when the depositors come back, savings bank depositors and current account depositors, they say that you give me my money back and they draw a check upon that. You have to honor it because it's a contract between you and the customer. You cannot refuse that payment saying that I already deployed these funds in the loan. That cannot happen. So there are certain rules and regulations prescribed by Reserve Bank of India. They are known as with certain terminology. Are you aware of it? What are these restrictions? That certain amount of deposit has to be there in the form of cash, and certain amount of deposits, certain percentage of deposit has to be there locked up in the government securities. So one response which has come is gold. Any other? Have you heard of CRR and SLR? What is CRR, SLR? Because when you go into this chapter, at least if you are aware of, yes, CRR, SLR. So what is that? CRR, SLR, Rasdeep? Because you are in the bank for last almost 9 years, you must be, yeah. CRR is cash reserve ratio and SLR is statutory liquidity ratio.
Statutory liquidity ratio. Yeah.
Yeah, statutory liquidity ratio. So SLR is statutory liquidity ratio. So they want that any given point of time, if there is a run on the bank because of some grapevine or whatever, the bank should be able to pay back the depositors whatever they demand out of the deposits that they have made with the bank. And that is why these two important liquidity ratios, cash reserves and statutory liquidity ratios, are prescribed to ensure the financial stability of the bank and in the process the financial stability of the entire financial sector in the country, so that country's economy does not get impacted, number one, and the people who are investing in Indian ventures from abroad, FIIs or like that, then they also get assured that money which is put in this country is safe, and whenever I will require it, I will be able to take it back. So that is why these two ratios are. Now coming to the capital adequacy framework. So each rupee that you lend has a risk. So if that risk is to be mitigated, then you have to have a separate capital. At least for every rupee you have to, I'm just giving you as an example, it is not the real ratio which I am telling. Each rupee will have to be supported. If each rupee of lending will have to be supported by at least 8 paise of your or 9 paise of your capital, then only you can lend, not otherwise. So minimum capital requirement which is there, it is known as capital adequacy ratio, CAR, CAR ratio also they call it. Now RBI, after 2008 world crisis, financial crisis that was faced by the entire world, RBI went ahead and they have prescribed a higher capital adequacy ratio than what is prescribed by the international charter. So fundamentals of capital adequacy framework also will be covered in this chapter, and then contours of credit policy. Yeah, 9 paise. 9 paise is what 9%. Absolutely right. Somebody has given clarity to that. So contours of credit policy. Now, what do you mean by contours of credit policy? Any guess? Contours of credit policy means every bank is supposed to lay down within the framework of the Reserve Bank of India guidelines a policy document. They are supposed to create a policy document whereby they will say that I will lend subject to this. So they will lay down certain rules and regulations, and they will also give details of what kind of securities would be there, how I'm going to treat that. All this will be there, and ultimately the credit policy should be within the framework of Reserve Bank of India guidelines. They cannot overstep that. And it has to be approved by the board of directors of the company. There should be a chief risk officer who will be responsible for implementing the credit policy word by word. And therefore, as a credit officer, future credit officer, you are supposed to go through this credit policy in your organization and see to it that you are well versed, so that you do not recommend something to the sanctioning authority which is not permitted by your own credit policy. Forget about Reserve Bank guidelines. You are not supposed to overstep whatever is prescribed in your credit policy. And what are the consequences of that? I will just try to explain it to you, because few of our friends are there in the government banks also. So they must be aware that if something goes wrong to a loan which has gone bad, and God forbid if it is appraised by you, if it is the credit analysis has been done by you, the credit underwriting has been done by you, and if it is found out at a later stage that it violated certain provisions of the credit policy, then God save you. Or perhaps God also will not save you. So that is the way in which the whole policy, within the credit policy guidelines, your sanction should be there. So that is the importance of this chapter, credit contours of credit policy. Going further, credit products. So obviously, based on the credit policy, you are supposed to offer some products into the market. So types of borrowers and their legal status. So borrowers can be individual. So he will be a retail borrower. Now within the retail borrower is a very, very large definition. So retail borrowers will also cover your neighborhood provision store who is coming to you for finances. So that also will be a retail borrower, but the legal status would be different. It could be a partnership firm. So this legal status would be there. It could be a limited liability partnership, particularly if they are not family members and they are consultants. So they are not blood related. So they have no long-term interest in that particular venture. They are there only to share profits and do the work till they are together on certain projects. So that legal status could be partnership, but it will be limited liability partnership, because they don't want their individual worth to be washed away in case something goes wrong. So that's a separate legal status. Then it could be private limited company. It could be public limited company. It could be trust. It could be society. So all this. So types of borrowers and their legal status, the need for borrowing. Why they are coming to you for borrowing? Is it that, they want to participate in some gambling activity and they do not have the money, so they will come, take the loan and they play the gambling? No, that is not permitted by your own credit policy. So need for borrowing also has to be gone into in detail. What is the need? Then overview of credit facilities, fund-based and non-fund-based. So there are basically two types of facilities, credit facilities, which is fund-based, where the funds are actually made available to the party. So cash credit accounts, then your term loan account, then your gold loan account. These are the type of facilities which are fund-based. Then there are certain non-fund-based facilities. Now, non-fund-based facilities, any idea? Our Punjab National Bank
Yes, yes, it's LCs
friend
and
will be
BT.
able to tell what is there and how it got impacted in the process.
Yes, 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 yes. No, I was not in Punjab National Bank for a very long time, for 2
Right.
years only.
Right.
But still, like, like I was into this non-fund based, mostly as bank guarantees and LCs.
Yes.
So, like, I do have knowledge. I've worked on
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So it's mostly in the form of guarantees, the guarantees which bank gives on behalf
Yes.
of a beneficiary
Yes.
to give you
And in particularly in that fraud case which has happened,
LOC, line of
yeah,
credit.
it was LOU, letter of
LOU,
undertaking.
sorry, letter of undertaking.
It was
Yes.
a letter of undertaking, and it's a very interesting thing in which it has happened. So there are many things which you will find of interest in these non-fund based facilities. So normally people feel that non-fund based facility is easier, so give it. But it is actually more risky, because when you are sanctioning a fund based credit facilities, you are going into entire aspects of lending, right from need for borrowing to what kind of documentation you are going it. But when it comes to non-fund based facility, people they take it little lightly. Okay, thoda idhar udhar hoga to chalega, kind of a thing. But it should not be like that. Even if you are appraising a non-fund based facility, you should appraise it if it is as if it is going to be a fund based facility only, because it is only the event which will prove whether the non-fund based facility may get converted into fund-based facility. Suppose you have opened a letter of credit for import of certain raw material for ABC company, and you have given a letter of credit to the supplier of the goods. The goods have been supplied, shipped on board from foreign country. He has submitted his documents to the foreign bank there. The foreign bank has negotiated the document because the documents were strictly in conformity with the terms and conditions of the LC. And you will learn during the course of your training that bankers are dealing in documents and not in goods. So if the documents are perfect, which are stipulated in the letter of credit, the bank has to part with the money which is promised there. So that bank has parted with the money, the documents have come to you as a LC opening bank. Now, when you are scrutinizing the document, you also find that it is perfect. So you try to debit the party's account and recover the money from them, and you find that the party does not maintain sufficient balance in the account. Then what you will do? So LC bill discounting is again fraught with risk. If you have not done your due diligence on the borrower properly, then it is possible that you may land yourself into trouble. So fund-based and non-fund-based lending are very, very important learning from there. And then finally, lending products. We all know, that it's at our fingertips, all those things. Like what kind of lending products are there in the market? So we can say home loan, car loan, gold loan, agriculture loan, crop loan. All these facilities are nothing but lending products. So how you design the product, whether that product, there could be some inherent risk in that product also. So you have to test it in the market first. So that there could be a soft launch for that product. And if you find that it is not giving you nightmares after launching it, then you will launch that product across the country, not before that. Then basics of lending. So it will give you credit marketing, interest rates, documentation, supporting documentation for loan proposals, underwriting and approval, hierarchies, and delegation of powers. Now you tell me, they've included a chapter on credit marketing. Why so? Why credit marketing is important? From which angle? Anyone? Credit marketing. Why credit marketing is given a lot of thrust in the basic itself, basics of lending? Can anyone say that? Mahalakshmi, those who are not spoken, I would, Samarpita, Sonalika, Vignesh, anyone can unmute and say. Yeah, somebody has typed out, so I'll. New debt can be issued. Yes, that is the purpose of lending. So we can, but why marketing? People, they come and, they do the window shopping also. They will come to the bank and ask, Saab, yahan loan milta hai ya nahi milta hai? Then you say, yes, milta hai. Okay, then let me have an application. I will give it. Very good. Mahalakshmi has mentioned competition. So can you elaborate on that? If you can speak, nothing like that. Otherwise, you can write into the chat box also. What do you mean by competition? What are the benefits of credit marketing? In other words, just like to know. Competition is the right word you have used, but I'm more interested to earn profit. Okay, fair enough. Because we are lending, so we'll definitely, our primary aim is to earn profit. But why marketing? You can as well entertain walk-in business. Persons will come to your bank and they'll inquire, and then you will appraise the loan and sanction it. No harm. There are many people who have not got loan. So even if you don't go out in the market, you can get increased portfolio. Okay. Amit says increase portfolio. But basically, I guess there are sufficient responses, so I'll not go further into that. The importance of credit marketing is that if you go out into the market and market your product, then you will feel that the person with genuine need only will say yes to your proposal for sanction of loan. If he is trying to take you for a ride, and if you go to his place for marketing the loan, you will be able to, feel the discomfort that you will have by visiting that place. And that is the beauty of a banker, that within 1 or 2 interactions, he will have measured the person. So credit marketing helps you in bringing or improving the credit quality in your portfolio, and therefore you can guard against the future NPAs. That is the importance of credit marketing. Thanks for your responses in this. Good number of response. Then interest rates. Now, what is interest rate and why interest rates are being charged? So one response has already come, that we want to earn profit. So interest is nothing but the income on the money that we lend to the party. But are we charging different rates of interest to different category of borrowers? If so, why? Are we charging, yes or no? Are we charging different rates of interest to different category of borrowers? I would have sanctioned 10,000 to Amit, who is a consultant with some good company. And I have lent 10,000 rupees to a cobbler. So both of them, I will charge the same rate of interest. So some responses here in the chat box. So yes, based on previous and existing liability and cover risk of loss, increase portfolio. Okay. So yes, one response which has come is part of it. So based on risk, interest rate will be charged. That is perhaps the more logical answer to the question that I have raised, because each risk, each lending, each borrower will carry a different risk, different kind of risk. So what we are doing is we are into risk-based credit. So if risk is high, I will charge higher return. If the risk is low, I will charge lower return, and therefore the interest rate will be differing from the type of risk that I am financing. Very clear. Good. Very good response from Narendra. Thank you. Then documentation. Documentation is again a very, very important aspect of basics of lending. Sometimes very silly mistake can cost you heavily. I'll give you an example. You know that certain documents get time barred. All the documents get time barred, but the periodicity differs. So any loan which is payable on demand, their loan documents will get time barred after a period of 3 years. So completion of 3 years, if you don't renew the documents, it will get time barred. So normal practice, it had been prevailing, and perhaps it is now also prevailing. Some of my friends can bear me out in that whenever the loan document is signed, we are also asking the borrower to sign the undated renewal form, that is a revival letter, and borrower signs it also because he wants to have loan from us. He has a compulsion. These are kept with the documents, and the party will be contacted just about 3 months before the completion of 3 years of the loan for revival of the documents. But sometimes what happens, that party is traveling abroad, or then you forget it. And therefore, if the 3 years are going to be over, what you will do? You will take out that blank signed revival letter, put the date, and then keep it with the document so that legally you feel you are safe. One case had happened long back in the 80s, where such a revival letter, duly signed, blank, was given by the party. The party was a lady. She was manufacturing in a free trade zone, the only free trade zone in the state at that material time. A carpet manufacturing unit was there. And the loan turned bad. And because the loan turned bad, bank had to file a civil suit. Now, when the question of filing of civil suit came, the documents were scrutinized, and it was told that these documents are time barred, so we will not be able to file suit. Fortunately, some person remembered that I had taken a blank and I had kept it separate, because the auditors will take a not a very good view of that, because they say that no, you cannot take the such letter in advance. That is what happened. And then what happened, that he put the date, the case was filed, and when the case came up for hearing, the other party, that is the lady, she argued that the date which is inserted in the document of revival letter, on that day I was in the hospital in London nursing my baby, my first baby, which I gave birth in London itself. And she could prove it with the available documents. And the case, bank lost the case and lost the money, everything. So sometimes documentation, a slight slip up can cost you bomb. Very important point. Supporting documentation for loan proposals, underwriting and approval hierarchies, and delegation of powers. So when the credit policy is being prepared by the bank, there are delegation of powers also, that at which level what powers will be exercised, they are also very well documented, and at what level it will be done. So hierarchy also. So these are also part of the basics of lending. Then steps for underwriting and approvals. Read the borrower and the documents, understand the requirements, be aware of lenders' limitations, clarity on what bank can offer versus what borrower wants, teaming up with other lenders. So teaming up with other lenders means consortium finance. Then due diligence. So due diligence on all the players, whether he's a guarantor or a borrower. If it is a partnership firm, then due diligence on all the partners. If it is a trustee, due diligence on all the trustees. If it is a finance to the trust. If it is a finance to the public limited company, then due diligence on the directors. That also is required to be done. Then credit risk assessment framework. So there is a broad range of this framework. Negotiation of credit terms. It's an art and science both. How to negotiate. Because sometimes what happens that when you are dealing with a mighty borrowers, they will always carry their weight, that I am offering you, 100 crores worth of business and you are negotiating terms with me. No, either you follow my terms or I am not interested. But you have to skillfully negotiate each and every term and see to it that the credit risk that you foresee in that proposal is fully mitigated. Approval memo, letter of intent and commitment letter. So once the loan is sanctioned, then these things will follow. And then final approval and arrangement letter. Then risk assessment. Risk-based approach to lending. 3 pillars of credit risk management. Structure risk in lending. Industry and business-based risk in lending. Management risk in lending. Financial risk in lending. Credit risk, money laundering risk and fraud risk in lending. And operational risk in lending. So all the risks which are associated with a particular type of borrower or a credit availer, all this risk assessment has to be done. And they have shown the techniques of risk assessment in this particular chapter. Then financial statement analysis. We very well know a few things because most of you might have some commerce background or accounting background. So we know the ratios, importance of ratios, and current ratio and debt equity ratio are the most talked about ratios. One more ratio which is talked about quite frequently is debt service coverage ratio. So accounting basics in that is covered. Then statutory audit, credit audit and external reviews, they are also covered here. Then profit and loss account, spreading financial statements, balance sheet, cash flow statement, auditor reports and notes on account, Indian accounting standard, financial ratios, analysis and interpretation. So these things are covered under financial statement analysis. Then your next is projection. Because if it is a old unit, normally what happens that we take care of the last 3 years balance sheet, we ask for them audited balance sheet, we analyze that and we are asking for projections. If we find that there is a 10% jump expected or projected by the party, we normally accept it and go ahead. But if it is a new borrower who has never been dealing with you earlier in the past, then in that case, projections, they assume a lot of importance because each assumption, underlying assumption of that projection has to be validated by you. You should be fully convinced that the projections which are made in this proposal are fully achievable. If not achievable, then you have to, put him into doubt. So basis of projections, its achievability and modifications in the projections. So it is possible that after you have confronted him with certain facts and figures, he may say that, yes, you are right. And I would like to, downsize my projections. Then after downsizing the projections, after considering the what if scenario, if the new projections are accepted, whether it will still continue to be that proposal will continue to be financially viable, economically viable. So that also is covered in the projections part. And there are lovely case studies on these areas also. Then loss assessment, basic of assessment, acceptable parameters and margins, because there is no loan without margin. Assessment of working capital loan. Working capital loan means the loan which is given for day-to-day functioning of the loan or of the unit. Then there are term loans, which is given for the purchase of machinery. And normally when we sanction term loan, unless we are fully satisfied about how he is going to raise the working capital loan, we would never sanction term loan. So any term loan project, if it has come to you as a credit analyst, you should be always insisting that he should give a proposal for working capital loan also. And then finally, if it is a term loan, if the machinery is to be imported, then he would not prefer to, avail of the loan immediately. He would prefer to keep it sanctioned. He will request you for opening a letter of credit for the amount of machinery that is likely to import. The machinery will be imported, and as and when the machinery documents are received, it will be debited to the term loan account of the party, and the disbursement will be there, and from there onward term loan will start. So you have to do 3 assessment in that case: assessment for requirement of letter of credit, assessment for term loan, and simultaneous assessment for working capital loan. Understanding loan proposals format. Now RBI has not prescribed any specific format, but based on the guidelines, more or less all the banks have standardized their formats, and there is lot of similarity between the loan proposal format of X bank and Y bank. Then structuring. Now structuring of loan again is a art and science. What kind of security you will be asking, what kind of tenure of the loan. Now suppose an agriculturist is being financed, and you know that he is taking only 2 crops, one summer and one winter. So if you are prescribing a monthly installments, he will not be able to pay. Instead of that, you have to pay for, you have to arrange for the payment of installment at which is coinciding with his harvesting season, so that he sells the crop, gets the money, and then he's repaying you the debt. So tenure is very important. And then credit enhancement. Sometimes what happens that the party comes to you and says that I would like to have a higher amount of credit for this particular season. So can we do that? So that is structuring. Then credit ratings, very, very important chapter. Introduction of credit models, difference between quantitative and expert judgment models, then approaches to credit risk modeling, estimation of parameters and validation, credit models, conflict of interest, rating transition matrix, and external ratings versus internal ratings. So this will be covered in the credit rating part. Now, credit rating is a very important aspect because unless the rating is done, whether it is internal rating by the bank, if it is a small borrower, or if it is a very large borrower, then they do internal rating and they try to ask the party for getting the report from the external agency also, and they try to compare it. If there is a dichotomy between the two, then some more discussions will take place. And then rating is important from the perspective of pricing of loan, because based on the credit rating, the interest rate will be decided, how much of interest will be charged. And from that from that angle, credit rating is a very important module. Credit analytics. Now, you have the data, but what kind of data you have? So data play a very important role in credit analytics. So data sources, traditional and new age, evolution of lending data, introduction to the subject, credit analytics techniques and platforms, credit risk model and scorecard development. So these are the things which will be covered under the credit analytics. Documentation, legal environment and lending in India, asset identification and valuation for security and documentation. So whenever the assets are charged to the bank, it is very, very important that these assets which are charged to the bank as a security are identified and demarcated separately. So sometimes, particularly when you go in a, for example, Surat composite mills, you will find that certain assets were purchased out of the bank's loan. And then the party earned so much that they did not need the other assets, the finance for purchasing the other assets. So if there are some 20 machineries for processing the cloth, you will find the mention of a particular bank with serial number and all this on certain machines, and rest of the machines will not be free. So this happens because only those machineries are charged to the bank, not rest of it. So we test, it is very important. Sometimes what happens that वो बोलेगा साहब क्या फर्क पड़ता है, हम यहाँ छोड़ के थोड़े चले जाने वाले हैं यहाँ से. We are not going to leave or run away from this. Why are you insisting for painting with your name and all? But you have to put your foot down. It is identification purpose. We have to do it. Then creation of security interest. Now, creation of security interest means, suppose they have given you a landed property as a security. So what they will do, they are not going to put the property in the bank. The property will be lying somewhere else, 50 kilometers from the bank. But what they will submit to you is the documents of that property. Now, if the charge is not created, security interest is not created in that property by legal processes, merely keeping those documents in your custody is not going to come to your rescue when you file a suit for recovery. So you have to ensure that not only the documents are with you, the security interest is created by charging, by creating a registered mortgage with the registrar of assurances, and you have to go to their office, create a charge, get a receipt from that, place it with the documents and keep it in your custody. So that is why it is known as creation of security interest. And then digital verification and documentation. So there are certain documents which are digitally submitted, and you have to have the digital verification of those documents also, like KYC and other documents. Then monitoring. Any loan, howsoever good borrower he or she is, there is not a single loan which will not require monitoring. So monitoring has many aspects. Conduct and follow-up of loan accounts and key monitorable and actions. So what kind of actions are needed? So once you sanction the loans, your actually responsibility starts from that day onward. It is after the disbursement, because during the entire life cycle, you have to be on your toes, life cycle of that loan. Till the entire loan is repaid, your responsibility continues. Collections, that is recoveries. So covenant default and actions. Suppose a party is asked to submit monthly stock statements by 5th of the next month. For 6 to 7 months after availing of the new loan, they will continue to submit very religiously, regularly, in the structured format you want, all this. But on 5th or 6th month onward, you will find that instead of 5th, he will be submitting it on 7th, then 10th, then 12th. And if you are not following it further, then sometimes months together, they will stop submitting the stock statements. Now, if that is the case, then it is a default, covenant default. You should immediately act. So 1 month, yes, if he has not told you, then your phone should go, sir, why you have not submitted the stock statement? It is already 7th. So you will say, Saab, ghar mein marriage tha, aisa kaisa. They will always come up with some excuses. 2nd month also, if it continues on the 3rd month, you have to be alert that this party is up to something. You have to go inspect the stock immediately there and then, without informing him that you are coming for stock verification, and you should satisfy yourself. If at all, if I am to take this chapter, I can share so many things with you, but today there is a lack of time, and therefore will not touch upon those experiences. Acting on default triggers. So suppose some default takes place, then what are the actions that could be there for you from your side? Preservation of custody of assets. So if you have sanctioned a term loan, if the default take place and you find that the machinery, the factory gate is locked and there is hardly any activity within that factory premises, then you should immediately rush and take custody of those assets. Legal recourse. Compromise. So legal recourse, yes, sometimes it should be the last in our action, legal recourse. Before legal recourse, you should also think of, how many years the case will last before the judgment is in favor of the bank. And if it is a big borrower, it is possible that he may challenge that judgment in the higher courts. So is compromise formula possible to be hammered out? So you should give that. Then haircuts. It's not a saloon where you go and have a haircut. Haircut means what kind of loss you are prepared to accept. So you have sanctioned him 10 crores worth of advances, and he comes and says that, sir, I'm there to repay the debt. but you accept loss of 2 crores on the principal amount. I'll give you a check right now and tomorrow my account will get closed. Are you willing to take that decision? Is there kind of powers vested in you? If not, then can you recommend that kind of a proposal to your next level of authority? All these things will be covered in that. Then delinquency, the default, non-repayment of the dues, and then take enablers in identifying probabilities of default. So these things will be covered under collections. Commercial law, Indian Contract Act. These are very important laws because they are touching upon our bankers' life day in and day out, and therefore they are covered here. Indian Contract Act and Bills of Exchange Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, Sale of Goods Act 1930, and Transfer of Property Act. Then recovery laws, 3 are covered: DRT Act, SARFAESI, and Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. And then RECTAC. So evolution of RECTAC, regulations by use of technology. That is what RECTAC means. Evolution of RECTAC, need for RECTAC, challenges faced by lenders, technology supporting RECTAC solutions, areas of intervention and benefits for lenders and regulators, data management and regulatory reporting, impact of RECTAC, and examination of current innovations in RECTAC. And that was the last one, RECTAC. So after you undertake the entire, after you have undergone the entire course, then what kind of career path awaits you? So the candidates undertaking the CRU course can secure jobs or get an elevated position in any of the following areas. It could be in credit marketing, it could be in credit analyst's position, it could be in credit management, it could be credit audit, it can be risk management, digital lending, NPA management, credit rating, and then finally loan restructuring. So these are the kind of, openings that you may get after going through in which area you want to, specialize in. Depending upon that, you can select your future career path. And what are the value additions from the course? So continuous hand-holding by experienced faculties when required, case studies for hands-on experience. There are at least 6 to 7 case studies which are there. Additional reading on all the subjects covered. Certification after the course completion. And the certification carries a lot of weight because it is done by Moody's. Placement assistance and counseling. So the course coordinator, our friend Shashank, he will always be there for you in these areas, available for your guidance. Future ready for job in financial sector. And if you are from a non-financial sector and if you have undergone this course, then it will give you enough confidence that you are future ready for a job in the financial sector. So with this, I conclude my session. Do you have any questions? And before that, I would like to ask if the host is there. Are you
Yes,
there?
Sir, I am very much here.
So
let's have a quick round of questions.
You gave some background of mine also, or shall I self-introduce?
In the email itself, we have shared the entire profile of yours.
Okay. Then I don't need to elaborate on that. Okay, thank you.
So guys, next 10 minutes we are open for questions. Please go ahead, ask sir all your questions related to the program. Followed by this, we will start having our classes from next weekend. No class tomorrow. Next weekend from Saturday 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. is our class timings. Now I leave it up to you guys to ask questions. Please go ahead and ask your questions from Sudhir sir.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Sunil this side. So
yeah,
thank you for the deep, like helping us understand on the course coverage. So one question I had, will we
Yeah.
be covering on stress testing?
Stress testing will be covered, yes. What if scenario and other things, yes, it will be covered.
Okay, stress testing will be covered. Okay, got it. And
Yes.
one more thing, since like
Yeah.
most of us are from the banking space, but we might not have worked on each and every aspect what we have taught, like bits and pieces we have worked. So will you be
Yes.
covering from the ground level so that from the basics one can understand?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It will be covered from the ground level, because see, you may be in the banking sector, but there will be other people who will not come from the banking sector. So they have to, be taken up from ground level to that level of expertise.
Okay. Okay.
But
Thank you.
my strong recommendations would be that not only what is being discussed during these sessions, you concentrate, but the additional reading which is provided in your course material as a part of the course material, that also you try to read through, because that will give you an additional confidence. And the faculty is available at any time. Leave a message, whoever is your identified faculty, because one faculty will only be associated with you. So you send him questions. Perhaps I'm sure in my batch, I have started a WhatsApp group. So whoever wants to raise the question, they can raise it on WhatsApp. Plus, whatever I read in the general newspaper, which is pertaining to the risk management or credits, and if I find that it may be worth reading, worth a read by my students, then also I keep on sharing such news items on our common platform. So do that also. You will be benefited a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
So Sunil, this side again, sir. Last
Yeah.
question. So mostly in this topic, I've seen you're covering mostly on the Indian regulatory standards. Will you be touching base with the foreign standards like European guidelines or maybe some US market like that? Or it's pure the Indian market?
No. It is purely confined to, you will have some flavor of IFRS, International
Financial Reporting Standard.
Yes, financial reporting system. You will have some flavor of it, but it will be in the context of Indian AS.
Ind AS, yeah, got it.
Ind AS.
Similarly, the capital which you said, it will have a flavor of Basel, but you will be focusing on.
Yes, Basel, up to Basel 3, we will discuss in detail.
Okay.
But then in the context of what is happening on ground by RBI, in respect of that. So that is how we'll do it. Because see, there is no point, according to me, and that is the reason why they would not have covered it, is that you are looking as a future employee, you are looking for a, some kind of a grounding in the Indian context, how the Indian banks are having practices of credit monitoring and credit management and credit risk management part. So your idea is to have that only. And that is why the course material is designed in such a way that if you are lending up in any of the financial sectors, any players of the financial sectors in India, you will feel comfortable. That is how the course material is designed.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Amit.
Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
So I was asking, will this be related to like company analysis? Like when a company is asking for a debt, MSME, small company, or even large listed companies will be given, or and also will be including any individual persons who is a salaried person based on that. So how will a credit analysis will be done in this course?
Yeah, so there are case studies there. So there is a case study on projections. There is a case study on financing a unit. So these case studies will give you enough confidence after the theoretical aspect of this thing. And let me tell you that the individual loan proposals are very, very simple in that sense. What you look for, if you are financing a salaried class person, what you will look for is what is his annual income and what are his annual liabilities. Now, whether there is a surplus available with him or not, and based on that, certain parameters which are given in the loan document, which is in your loan policy, which is approved by the board, you will adhere to that, and then you will arrive at a decision. So it's not a very very complicated, but the complications will start only when you are appraising a loan for a large company, that is mid-size, MSME and above. If you want to sanction loans, then only these things will come. And for that, case studies are there, which will definitely give you enough confidence that yes, if such a proposal is coming to you, you will be able to handle it on your own.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question? No one? Yeah, we have still 5 minutes time. You can always. No questions to any of the ladies who are there in the group? No question, I suppose. Then your silence, I take it as granted that all questions are over and therefore we can call it a day. Right?
Sure, sir. So thank you all for attending this inaugural session. So these are your session was enlightening as always. Thank you so much, guys. Let's connect next week and await further details on emails from our side. All the things that I've talked about related to the LMS, the documents, etc., will reach you. And I mean, once you have those, you will be able to figure it out.
Thanks, Shashank, and thanks all of you. I wish you all the best in this course, and anytime you are always welcome from the faculty, whoever will be dealing with you for this. Any questions on any of the topics that will be covered in future. Thank you very much. Can we get PPT of this? Okay, I will share it with our friend Shashank, and he will pass it on to you. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, guys. Let's connect again next Saturday to start off things.
Yeah. Good night and have a nice weekend.